Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Let me move over on. Like right now, I'm like, I was standing in between, like over the cord for this ring light, and I have been prone to trip over it and pull it out of the socket. So I had to get myself together. But happy Monday, y'all. I pray that you all have had a phenomenal and a fantastic day. I pray that you smiled today. I pray that you made the most of your day. I pray that you smile more than you frowned. I pray that you laughed more than you cried. And I know I say this all of the time, but I pray that the only tears that you shed on today were tears of joy. Were tears that when you sit back and you look over your life, you're like, how did I make it out of that? Like, while you were in it, you sat and you thought about, wow, like you think about what God brought you from and remembering who you used to be and just reflecting on how amazing you are today and how the choices that you're making today are so much better than they were a year ago, 6 months ago, 1 month ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And the tears well up in your eyes, right? Sometimes, and I'll introduce myself in a minute, but sometimes life goes by so fast that sometimes we need to take a step back and just think about where we were 10 years from now. I mean, 10 years prior, excuse me. Even for myself, I think about our son, our oldest son just turned 11 years young. And I think about 11 years ago when my husband and I were homeless while I was pregnant with him, and how we slept in our Infinity M35, and I had a doctorate degree. Good evening, good morning, good day. As you come in, make sure you subscribe to my channel and share this with about 2 or 3 people, right? And I sit and I think about how God brought us from that. And I think about where we are today. We went from sleeping in our cars, sleeping on people's mattresses in their living room. Good evening, good morning, whatever time of day it is. And I sit and I reflect on where we are now. And sometimes I want to encourage you all, sometimes just sit back and look over your life. I don't care what is going on right now. I don't care how challenging it seems. I want you to think about where you used to be. I want you to think about how far you've come. I want you to think about how much you have progressed, even if you don't think you have. I want you to think about where you were a year ago. 2 years ago. I'll get to it if you stay. If you have to go, I totally get it and understand, right? I want you to reflect on who you used to be and where you came from. And I want you to think about all of the amazing things that has happened in your life that you have neglected just to be grateful for. And every time it seems like you get frustrated about life, frustrated about business, I want you to think about all of the amazingness. I want you to think about all of the great things that have occurred throughout your life, and I want you to celebrate it. Right? So, good evening. That is my introduction. I am Dr. JaNee Mobley, affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and I help women overcome mindsets that prevent profit, progress, and prosperity so that they'll have the boldness and the bravery to move forward and profit from their passion. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. Share this link out with about 2 or 3 people. You all come on in. We're going to go ahead and get started. So I want to ask you all, how many of you all have a passion? How many of you all have a purpose that you know you should be living? But every time you get to thinking about starting your business, every time you get to thinking about sharing your idea, every time you get to thinking about pushing the like button on YouTube or what is it, Instagram or TikTok, you get scared. You begin to think about, what are they going to say? What if my hair is not right? What if something is going on? What if they tell me no, right? How many of you all have ever, thank you for your honesty, have ever had the fear of being rejected? You don't want nobody to tell you no. You are afraid that if you share your t-shirts, your books, your opportunities, your services, they're going to tell you no. But tonight, I want to help you all shift your mindset about the fear of rejection. So let's talk about, and I promise y'all, we are not going to be long. If you want to learn more about me, make sure you click the link below and get your hands on the 5 mistakes that women make that prevent them from profiting from their purpose. So before we get into the 3 tips tonight, I want to go into definitions because the Bible tells us that in all of our getting, that we should get understanding. Because here's the thing, and this is what I truly know. When we understand something, we comprehend it. And there is a power in comprehending, right? So if you comprehend and you understand that if you consume too much salt, what will happen? Your blood pressure 9 times out of 10 is going to increase. So if you comprehend that your blood pressure is going to increase if you consume high amounts of sodium, you understand that all I'll have to do is reduce the amount of sodium that I intake. Right? That gives you power. That is your might, your strength, and ability to know that you have the ability to change a thing because you're aware of it. So the great thing about understanding definitions and words is that when you understand it, it gives you a power and a strength to reposition yourself and your way of thinking in an effort to shift your actions and your mindset toward whatever the thing is so that you can achieve your level of success. So let's talk about what the term fear is. So according to the Greek version of fear, fear is timidity. It is cowardice. Oh my gosh. Y'all, when I was sitting here reading this, I was like, do you realize when you are in fear, you're being a coward? It's like almost like you're being a coward. And here, let's clarify. So there are 2 definitions according to my understanding that fear is. There is a fear that is great. That is a fear is when you reverence God, you respect him, right? That's a good fear. The bad fear is when you're afraid that something is going to happen, right? It's a negative emotion about something that has not even occurred. It's a negative emotion that there will be a negative outcome about whatever it is that you are thinking about doing or thinking about moving into or thought pattern that you have. Okay? Fear is the belief that something bad is going to happen. So let's look at the definition of rejection. Rejection is the dismissal and or refusal of a proposal or an idea. If you all haven't shared this live, make sure you hit the share button, right? And subscribe to my channel. Again, rejection, to be rejected, is to be dismissed or refused of an idea or proposal. So if you have a fear of rejection, you are timid, or you have a cowardice position, or you're afraid that somebody is going to tell you no about your idea, your purpose, your passion, your business, your opportunity, or your service. But I'm going to help you tonight. So this is mindsets that I want you all to have. If you ever get to a place when you're ready to move forward in your idea and then you get this fear of people telling you no. Number 1, you have to understand that fear is a belief. Fear is the position of your thinking. Fear is a mindset. So here's the thing. One thing that I understand, and some people may not agree with me, but most of the times, fear is a decision. I'm going to say that again. Most of the times, fear is a decision. And the reason why I say that is when you're in fear, 1, you got to be aware of it. 2, when you understand that you are in fear, you then have the power to shift your way of thinking or shift your belief about the thing that you are fearful of. So in the case of being rejected, the fear may be they may tell you no, right? So when you're aware that you're afraid of them dismissing you or your opportunity or your service, you have the power to shift your belief. You got to understand that. Fear is a belief. It's a belief that in this case, with the fear of rejection, that they're going to tell you no. So what happens to most people is because they are afraid of hearing the word no, they don't execute. They don't move forward. And this is, I want you to think about this. You don't move forward, or people don't move forward in their passion because of the possibility, not a certainty, but the possibility of someone telling you no. So you don't give yourself an opportunity or give your potential client and customer the opportunity of making a decision, all because of what you believe. Again, it's a belief. You think, you anticipate, you're afraid, you're timid, you're cowardice of them telling you no. You've made a decision for them because you haven't shared your idea with them. And I always say this, that your passion, you have to always see yourself as being a solutionist. What is a solutionist? Excuse me. A solutionist is someone who has a solution to somebody's problem. So with you having a purpose, with you having a business and an idea, you now hold a solution to someone else's problem. But if you allow the belief that they will tell you no to stop you, you prevent them from making a decision about working with you or buying from you. And here's the thing, you've made their decision for them. And I'm going to say this, how dare you? How dare you make a decision for somebody else? You got to shift the way that you believe. You must shift your belief system. The scripture tells us this, and I was just reading this scripture this morning. He tells us that he has not given us the spirit of fear. And this lets us know that fear is a spirit. If you understand it, and I may be wrong, but the way I'm thinking about this and processing it now, fear is not something that you can touch. It's not something that you can physically touch with your hand. It's a spirit. So God tells us he didn't give us the spirit of fear. He didn't give us the spirit to be cowards. He didn't give us the spirit to be timid. But what did he give us? He gave us power. And I love to say that because this is one of my ways of always being reminded of whose I am and who I am. He's given us power. So power is might, strength, and ability. And I love all three of those terms because it reminds me that he's given me the ability to change my way of thinking. He's given me the might and the strength to shift my belief system. So if I'm believing, in this case, if I'm believing that someone, or anticipating that they're going to tell me no, I have the ability, I have the strength, I have the might to shift my way of thinking and decide that they can also tell me yes. The fear of rejection, right, is a belief. And just like you choose to believe that they may say no to you, you can choose to believe that they will say yes. So number one, you have to understand that fear is a belief and you can choose to believe something different. Number two, quit making decisions. Here's the thing, quit making this about you. Quit making your business about you. Quit making your passion about you. Quit making your purpose about you. I just left my coach's our millionaire mastermind retreat with my coach this past week. And let me tell y'all, it was absolutely amazing. And she reminded me of something that I used to always say regarding purpose. Your purpose ain't about you. Your purpose is not. It ain't about you. Here is the thing. When I think about Jeremiah had a purpose, right? Jeremiah was fearful. He was fearful. First of all, he didn't feel qualified. Okay. And he was wondering how he was going to do all of this stuff, be this prophet that God wanted him to be. But Jeremiah's problem was he was making it about him. Esther's problem. Esther had a purpose, but she was making it about her. Here is my note to you. And both of these people did phenomenal things. What if Esther allowed fear to stop her? What would her people be? And including her, dead. What would she be? She would be dead. You got to understand that your purpose, your passion, the business, the idea that God has given you is so much bigger than you. It's bigger than your ego. It's bigger than the fear that you have. You have to understand that it's so much bigger than you. Quit making it about you. Quit making it about you. Trust me, I understand. I get it. Rejection is not an exciting thing, but here's the thing. It is inevitable. Everybody that you come across is not going to tell you yes. And this is where I don't understand, or this is where I want people to understand when they're like, well, they don't feel the support of their family members and their friends closest to them, and nobody closest to them won't buy. Here's the thing that I say to that. Have you ever considered that the idea, the purpose, and the business that God has given you is not for your friends and your family? It's not, it may just not be for them. What you have is the idea that God has given you is so much bigger than you and them. It's outside and so much further than your family and your friends. That is a limiting belief. Nothing that God does is ever small. So just as he has given you an idea, the idea is bigger than your family. Quit making it about you. Quit making it about your feelings. When they tell you no, although it may not be exciting, quit making it about you. You got to understand that. The more that you continue to make your business, your idea, and here's the thing, I understand you're the one executing. I understand that you're the one who's doing the work, but you have to understand this, that God gave you the idea. He's giving you the passion to fulfill it and execute it so that someone else will excuse me, getting tongue tied, so that someone else will receive the transformation that they so desperately need, that they need. That I'm gonna say it again, that they need. Good evening. Hello. Right? And this is one of the pitfalls, along with four more. If you want to know what the other four mistakes are that women make that prevent them from profiting, make sure you click the link below and get access. But it's one of the biggest mistakes that people make that prevent them from succeeding in their businesses and in their ideas. They're making it about them. And trust me, it is not the most exciting thing to be rejected. It's not. But you have to understand that 9 times out of 10 is not personal. It has 9 times out of 10, when people say that they're not interested in your product or your service, it may not be you. It may be them. Depending upon the solution that you provide, people may not be ready to do the work that is necessary to get the transformation and the solution that they so desperately need, that they know they need, that you know they need. Sometimes they're not ready. So you can't make it personal. Can't make it personal. You have to disconnect yourself from their response. And the easiest way to do that is respect their position. If they say no, you understand. If they say they're not ready, you understand and you respect their position. Here's the thing. If you have to, and I want you to write this down. If you have to convince them to buy, you're going to have to convince them. If you're a service-based business, you're going to have to convince them to do the work. And let me tell you something. It is frustrating to work with someone that you have to constantly motivate to do a thing. It is draining. It's draining. So whether you're trying to convince them to purchase a membership, to purchase a service, you have to ask yourself, do you really want to work with someone who lacks the ability to make a decision, or who you always have to motivate to do whatever it is that they know they need to do? Don't waste your time. I don't care how much they pay you. It ain't worth it. By the time they done with you, you gonna want to give them their money back. All right. And number 3, and this is a perspective that I want you to understand. Anytime that you have the fear or the anticipation of a prospective customer or client telling you no, I want you to think about this. Just as someone or some people out there are going to say no, they're not interested. No, they don't want to work with you. No, they don't want the solution that you provide. I want you to understand this and come in closer. Come in closer. Just like there are a group of people telling you no, you must understand and be sure and be confident and be absolute in the fact that there are people out there who are waiting to tell you yes. I know that was real simple, but it's true. Just as somebody told you no, there are a group of people who are waiting to tell you yes. They're waiting. I apologize if y'all hear me gulping, but I'm thirsty. Right? There's a group of people out there who are waiting to tell you yes. So you don't have time to get caught up emotionally and get emotionally engulfed in the person who told you no, and the person who ghosted you, and the person who said that they were going to buy, but then you never heard from them again. You don't have time for that. Your focus is to get to the yeses. That's your focus. To get to the person, the people who are waiting to tell you yes. That's what you need to be caught up in. Thank you for the happy faces and all of the great, exciting stuff. Right? That's your goal, to focus on the people who are ready to tell you yes. Because just like you got this person who said no, they're not ready. They're not ready for the transformation that you provide. They're not ready to move forward. They don't want to buy from you. They don't want to do whatever it is that you are sharing with them. But there are a group of people who are waiting to tell you yes. And let me tell y'all, by the time you get to the yes, you will have gotten to the right person and or people. Don't take it from somebody who's been there, right? You do all of the work and they tell you no. So what? Again, when you get emotionally tied into it, you got to remind yourself that it's not about you. It's not about you. And let me share this with you. Don't make what you do about the money. I'm going to say that again. Don't make doing whatever it is that you are doing, whatever your business idea is, do not make it about you getting paid. Yeah, that's a benefit, right? But don't make it about you being the one getting paid. You have to position yourself from a place of surety and confidence that regardless of whether they tell you yes or whether they tell you no, you understand that you still have a solution to somebody's problem. So, number one, when we talk about the fear of rejection, you got to understand that fear is a belief, it is a decision, right? So just as you can believe or anticipate someone telling you no, you can choose to believe that they're going to tell you yes. Number two, quit making your idea about you. Quit making your purpose, your business about you. Understand it is so much bigger than you. The impact that your solution has been designed to provide for others is massive and it surpasses you. And number three, just like someone told you no, there's also someone out there who's ready and willing to tell you yes. So I appreciate you all for joining me. If you haven't already, make sure you get access to the 5 mistakes that women make that are preventing them from profiting from their purpose. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you all. Have a phenomenal evening. And remember to know your worth. Good night, y'all. Bye.